I'm John Batchelor. Gordon Chang of Forbes.com is here with me. Mr. Chang, I understand the most famous deadbeat income tax evader in Chinese Communist Party history has been released thanks to the merciful understanding of the Central Committee that though you are a world-famous artist and dissident, you still deserve generosity from Mao's descendants. Is that all correct?
That's all correct. In a really big surprise, the Communist Party released Ai Weiwei, who was detained when he was trying to go to Hong Kong. He's that famous artist and critic. And essentially what happened is they've got something called guarantee pending trial. And our closest equivalent is bail. And essentially, Ai Weiwei admitted to income tax fraud, which everyone in China commits. And, essentially, basically said, shut up, don't do anything bad, we're going to let you out. And so, the party uses this bail mechanism whenever they realize they've got someone under detention and it's becoming an embarrassment and they've got to get rid of him. So essentially, that's what's happened this time.
So he was said to have good attitude in confessing his crime. What does that mean?
That means that they were able to, one way or another, coerce him. They may not have put the thumbnails on him, but nonetheless, what they were going to do was make life so miserable for him. And so essentially he said, yeah, okay, I committed income tax evasion, just like all the rest of you, but I'm going to admit it and get out of jail. And probably what's going to happen is 4 or 5 months from now, he's going to start mouthing off again because that's in his character.
All right. Well, I like this idea of income tax evasion and making you a national hero. It's good. Only a government run by boobs would allow this to happen. But all right, let's move on to another fact. We've watched this last week, which is I've learned from Gregory Zuckerman of the Wall Street Journal that there's a hot new bet on Wall Street. You can't do this at home. You need professionals, which is to short the yuan, the Chinese currency. That means to bet that it's going to go from the peg, which is around 6.4, et cetera, to about 7 per dollar, because the Chinese inflation will become overwhelming and because they will need to compete with other exporters and therefore they'll have to cheapen their goods. Does that sound credible to you, Gordon?
I am shocked by this. And the reason is that, no one's ever going to accuse me of being optimistic about the direction of the Chinese economy. But you got to remember that the renminbi trades, and we can't really use the word trades, it trades in China. Basically, the government sets the price.
Right.
So, to short the renminbi, it means that you really got to believe that the entire economy is going to fall apart. So, yeah, I think the entire economy is going to fall apart.
Well,
but,
so therefore,
it might be a good idea. But for other people to think so, this is really stunning. And it just shows there's been a change in the attitude of outside the world towards China. There's now a real concern about the direction of the Chinese economy because of inflation and for other reasons. And so, therefore, this shows the mentality, the stunning turnaround outside China.
Now, Gordon, you have to accept the fact that you have been a lone voice for reason about China for a number of years and that you're being joined. It's not just your club anymore.
Yeah, I don't like being conventional wisdom. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable that anybody agrees with me.
We've had these training sessions every Wednesday for some time now, Gordon. You can see that your opinion is shared widely. You acknowledge that. We call around the world and everybody gets it. Yeah, sure, China's badly run and it's going to fall apart.
Yeah, I know. And actually, people are now starting to talk about the failure of the Chinese economy. Right. And people are even starting to think about the failure of the political system. I'm just shocked. My wife says, this is just not right that anyone agrees with me.
It feels like I made up a character once. His name was Tip Payne. And his job was writing Cold War thrillers. And in 1989, Tip hit what became a crisis because the Soviet Union failed and he was out of work and it was supposed to last forever. He'd learned Russian. It's a make-believe character, but he'd learned Russian. He went into he had to go to therapists. What am I to do now? The Soviets, the villains, my perfect people have blown up and become human. It's liable to happen to you. Quickly, Gordon, one thing. You tell me a story about a Chinese emperor who made everybody say a horse was a deer, right?
Yeah, Qin Shi Huang, the first imperial emperor.
The Chinese are saying they're not doing any hacking and that they're victims.
Oh, this is essentially what they come up with, these outlandish lies that everyone knows is false, and it's sort of like a loyalty test. If you agree with them, it means you're their friend. They did this like Tiananmen, like Only soldiers died in Tiananmen Square in 1989. This is just ludicrous.
So when they say we're not doing any hacking whatsoever, we're victims of hacking, that's the emperor saying a deer is a horse or a horse is a deer. Which is it?
I think it's a deer is a horse.
All right. A deer is a horse. Everybody get that. If you're good and you believe in China, every deer you see is in fact a horse. Gordon Chang of Forbes.com and The Daily. I'm John Batchelor.